International Islamic University Malaysia. Thank you for agreeing to be part of us and part of this event. Okay, so for housekeeping announcement, okay, so please take note about the safety. So you can see there are a few doors for entrance and exit. So you can see the keluar sign there, yeah. And then I would like to inform everyone as well. You can use the IIUM Wi-Fi, which have been pasted on the entrance at the entrance of the hall. Okay, so this is the multi-purpose hall. Okay, so you can switch on to the Wi-Fi and you can access the internet using the IUM Wi-Fi. And then for toilets, you can go downstairs, or for guys and ladies and toilet, you can go to another side of this building. Okay, it's not the next building, just another side of this hall. Okay, what else? So I think that's all from me. Okay, so we will start this event with the keynote speaker. We will be chat by Dr. Faisal Nordin. Okay, so please welcome Dr. Faisal.
Thank you, Dr. Shirwan. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain. Okay, good morning and selamat sejahtera, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, participants and fellow colleagues. Okay, it is with immense pleasure and excitement that I stand before you today as your MC for this morning session. Okay, in the next 1.5 hours, okay, you will hear privilege of hearing from two individuals, not one, okay, where accomplishment and insight are nothing short of remarkable. Okay, it is my great honor to introduce to you our first keynote speaker, Dr. Rahman, the Chief Executive Officer for Ghanim International Corporation, Brunei. Okay, Dr. Rahman is an Australian citizen with a broad experience based in diverse range of industries, including FMCG, retail and manufacturing in the area of executive management, quality management, people management, operation management, business development, among others. Yeah. Prior to joining Ghanim, he was with Woolworth, okay, the largest retail industry in Australia, Gloria Jean's Coffee, okay, one of the best coffee brands with outlets in 30 countries, and Cargill Foods, one of the largest meat processor in the world, among many others. Okay, he holder of 3 master's degree, okay, Masters of Business and Technology, and Masters of Applied Science in Food Microbiology from University of New South Wales, Australia, and also Master of Veterinary Science from Bangladesh Agriculture University, and also PhD in Veterinary Medicine, Bangladesh Agricultural University. Currently, he is the CEO of Ghanim International Corporation Brunei, and also CEO of Ghanim International UK Limited, and a member of Industry Advisory Committee for Food Science and Technology, University Technology Brunei. Okay, Dr. No is passionate about positioning Brunei in the global food industry and contributing to the Brunei food industry development. Upon joining Ghanim, he undertook an exercise to turn the company around towards profitability and growth, including embarking on renewing the vision, mission, and strategy. Dr. Rahman initiated repositioning Brunei Halal Food as an iconic halal brand and establishing partnership with SMEs for the processing of products under the Brunei Halal Food brand for export market and supplied product manufactured by the SMEs to several international markets. Ghanim also implemented a Brunei government initiative of entrepreneurship development program by engaging local Bruneians into retail business through the Junction franchise retail outlets. Buy Local Produce campaign is another business unit that has been established since the start of COVID-19 by purchasing fruits and vegetables from local Bruneian growers and selling to consumers. Ghanim has been engaged in becoming an export and import aggregator to support local food businesses. Through his leadership, Ghanim has established key export markets and exported Bruneian meat produce and products, and is ambitiously setting its sight to be a global brand, capitalizing on the fast-growing halal market opportunity worth 1.4 trillion USD through strategic partnership in key markets including Asia, Middle East, and Europe. A Brunei food industry development multipurpose manufacturing facility has been built with a unique concept that has commenced production in July 2023, which will facilitate not only quality Bruneian meat products to export markets, but to support local SMEs to develop, process, and pack their products in a state-of-the-art international standard facility. This facility will contribute to the food security of the country. Okay, so let us open our minds and heart as we listen to his presentation. Okay, without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Rahman to deliver his talk. Tafadhal, Dr. Rahman. Okay, Dr. Rahman will be online, yeah? So you can see the screen. Okay, left and right. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya al mursaleen. Sayyidina Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Honorable President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good morning to everyone. Can you see the slides now?
Yes, Doctor, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Doctor, the floor is yours.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I could not join in person because I'm in Sydney. I had to come here to attend my daughter's graduation, which is important. I could not avoid. So can you see my slide now?
Yes.
Are you going to control slides from there or I have to do it?
We will control it from here. You just
let
us know.
Okay. So if you can go to the next slide, please. So before I go into my presentation about Brunei, I just want to highlight a few points that, as you can see, that the world population is increasing, and by 2030, 25% of the world population will be Muslims, and we are just showing the top 10 countries around the world Muslim population. Next slide, please. So as you can see, so the Muslim market is also increasing. As you can see that the Muslim market around the world is increasing. So our Muslim population increasing, as such the market is also increasing. The buying power of Muslims increasing, that is creating opportunity for halal products. And the next slide, please. The dynamics of halal food growth. As you can see that there are opportunities in different businesses, increasing awareness about the halal product, and multinationals are also joining the bandwagon to come into producing halal products. So that is creating, again, opportunity for our halal products in the world. So the next slide is showing some of the challenges, issues and challenges in halal products. Obviously, traceability is a serious issue. Lack of value addition, innovation is an issue as well, which we are now trying to compete with the non-halal brands and products. Now, complexity to end-to-end maintaining halal is also another challenge and issue that needs to be addressed. And obviously, price and maintaining quality is also important to compete with the non-halal products. So lack of unified halal standard is another challenge as well. So next slide, please. The next slide is showing the cross-contamination possibilities. As you can see that from alcohol and from pork, there are lots of ways the contamination can happen through cosmetics, through additives, through emulsifiers, lots of different ways. So we have to maintain the integrity of halal, we need to look into that as well. So the next slide is showing the halal industry fourth IR. So obviously we need to compete with the technological development. We need to step into implementing the technology, big data, the Internet of Things, and all the smart logistics we have to introduce eventually to maintain our halal supply chain. So now I would like to go into our Ghanim International Corporation, the company that I work for. It's a 100% Brunei government-owned company established in 2009 with the aim to diversify the economy, unemployment, to reduce the unemployment, and also import substitution, product and food security for the country, export growth, and MSME development. These are the main goals why the company was established by the government of Brunei. So since 2009, we have started producing different value-added products, including beef, beverages, daily needs, condiments, and all range of products we have been producing. We are engaging our SMEs with us so that some of the SMEs can join us and producing our products for Ghanim International. So next slide, please. So why food industry? As we know that global food population is growing, expected to be 9 billion by 2050. Highest growth in consumption will be experienced in India, China, and Asian countries, where Muslim population is significantly increasing. So also majority of Brunei's food is currently imported, and also development of robust food industry, reduce foreign dependency and all this. So we have gone into creating focusing on the halal food industry in Brunei and engaging our FDIs, MSMEs, and also in our local industry development. We are looking into how we can actually develop the halal industry for Brunei and also export to other countries so that our Muslim countries can get products from Brunei. So that's our objective, and government is seriously looking into how we can increase the productivity of halal products in Brunei so that we can export to countries, even non-Muslim countries where our Muslim brothers and sisters cannot get easy access to halal food. So next slide, please. This slide shows our past and current board of directors. The Minister of Finance used to be our chairman of the board, and followed by the Minister of Primary Resource and Tourism, and then followed by another Deputy Minister of Finance and Economy. And currently, the Deputy Minister of Finance and Economy is the chairman, and 3 board members are from senior officers from the Ministry of Finance and Economy, and I am the CEO of the organization. So next slide, please. So our vision, strategy, and mission. Our vision is to be an iconic halal brand in the world that excels through innovation and virtue. Our strategy is delivering as the global standard brand and the most trusted company for providing halal product solutions. And our mission is to excel and lead the industry in raising the bar for society's lifestyle, solution through accurate science and innovation, social responsibilities for health and well-being, quality, convenience, and competitiveness, and sustainable brand growth. So our initiatives, what we have done, we started with the Brunei Halal Foods brand in 2009. And since then, we have added few other initiatives and brands with our under the Ghanim International Corporation. BFID is called Brunei Food Industry Development, multi-purpose processing facility that we have recently established. We have created another brand on that. Junction, the Junction is our retail outlet. So we have to create the whole supply chain from the sourcing to the processing to the retail. We have created outlet that is 100% owned and operated by Bruneians. So we have got several stores running in Brunei, and we have potential to take this brand internationally for selling, retailing halal products. BLPC is another brand, so Buy Local Produce campaign. So we have created this brand during the COVID. When the COVID hit the country, we had opportunity to support the local farmers, where the farmers who could not sell their product. We used to go and buy their produces and sell to the retail outlets and also to the house to house by supplying products. So that was helping the local farmers. So since then, we started this and continue to grow. And today, our BLPC program has grown significantly, and we are processing the products which I'll talk to you about this in next slides. So Ghanim Brunei is also another brand. So some countries, halal is, the word halal is a bit sensitive, we understand. And to overcome the situation, we have created another brand called Ghanim Brunei. So our aim is to bring the best of Brunei to the world. So next slide, please. Our journey, if I could quickly take you through our journey of Ghanim International Corporation, established in 2009. And then in 2010, we started sourcing product under our brand from different countries and retailing locally and other markets. And then in 2011, Brunei Halal, we established the brand in United Kingdom. We started setting up a processing facility in Birmingham, UK, and we started processing there. In 2015, Brunei Halal becomes the Brunei Halal Food, and we renewed vision, mission, and our strategy. And we started looking at how we actually can produce a value-added product in Brunei and not depending on the international suppliers. So in 2017, distribution of Brunei Halal products in over 200 stores in UK, and our first export of our crackers, value-added crackers, to China, Singapore, Malaysia, and Dubai. And also we won the best artisan product in the Gulf Food Innovation Award in 2017. And 2019, first Brunei Halal outlet is called Junction at the International Airport, Brunei. And in 2020, we have created our Buy Local Produce campaign, as I mentioned, and to overcome the situation with COVID-19. In 2022, export to Palestine in collaboration with UNRWA, and fast export to Bangladesh, and also BSA product, our Brunei Halal food products went to Dubai outlets in Carrefour and All Day. In 2023, we started in 2021, but commissioned in 2023. We have moved into the production facility. We have got a multi-purpose processing facility that will be producing several products. We have got 4 lines in the processing facility where we can produce varieties of different categories of product. Our next slide is I'll talk a bit about BFID, our Brunei Food Industry Development Processing Facility. So as we mentioned that it was established in 2023, and it serves as the platform for Brunei industries, food industry to be developed. Our objective is to support the government's aspiration of economic diversification. So as we perhaps know that Brunei is a country where most of the food products are imported, and that posed a challenge during the COVID. Food security was a serious issue. So to overcome those situations and also to increase our export from the country, we have set up the multi-purpose facilities where we have got 4 lines. One particular line is dedicated to MSMEs. So to grow the food industry in Brunei, we are supporting the local SMEs to come and use the facility. We have provided our facility, machineries, and workers, and all the other relevant facilities we have already provided. And MSMEs in food industry, they can come and use the facility and increase their productivity, and they can supply to the local market and international market. It's like a one-stop shop for the MSMEs to come. That's one particular line. We have got about 8 rooms in the line, so where they can actually use the facility and produce different types of product. And the rest of the facility is used by Ghanim International's product. We have equipment imported from France, Germany, Italy, China, India, Taiwan, and we are expecting to obtain British Retail Consortium certification very soon, inshallah. And it's a state-of-the-art integrated manufacturing production lines where we will be doing canning of product, retort product, frozen processing. We are processing chicken nuggets, beef burgers, and several seafood value-added products, snacks, and shrimp crackers, potato chips, corn chips, and other snacks we will be producing from this particular facility. And there are, as I mentioned, there are multi-purpose facilities for the MSMEs, and there are specialized activities the SMEs can come and perform so that they can use this facility. This is one of the unique facility that we have created. We have interest from several neighboring countries, including Singapore. Some of the SMEs from Singapore, they also want to come and use the facility. We have been communicated from Malaysia as well. So where possible, SMEs from other countries can also come and use the facility. So our opportunities and goals and aspiration, our objective from this facility is to do the import aggregation for MSMEs. So what we are trying to do to grow our local SMEs, it is challenging for the SMEs to take their product to the market, and especially to the international market. From this particular facility, we are sourcing the raw materials for the SMEs. We are importing from most of the ASEAN countries, from Australia and other South Asian countries, all the raw materials, and supplying to the local SMEs. And that is giving the cost reduction even up to, in some cases, 30% of cost reduction for the SMEs, because when the SMEs goes to import product, raw materials, they pay higher price. So if we buy in bulk and supply to the local SMEs, we can reduce significantly the price of the ingredients. So that helps the improvement for the SMEs value chain by aggregating and sourcing the raw materials. And the next is our food processing at BFID. Production opportunities, I already mentioned that the contract manufacturing can be done in our facility. People from overseas, if they want to produce halal product, they can come and do OEM product, and also organizations can actually rent our facility for processing smaller production to bigger production. So we have got this opportunity for international organizations to come and use the facility. Production-related services. Our product development, we have got a solid product development team, R&D team. They are continually developing various types of products so that we want to make sure that our household locally and internationally, they have got several products that are competitive to the non-halal brands and non-halal product. So we also provide some additional services. So we have got ambient and cold and chilled storage facility for the MSMEs, and opportunities for the MSMEs to be certified and to be endorsed by our organization, so that they can use this endorsement for adding value to their products. We also do export aggregation. So for our local SMEs, MSMEs, and the smaller businesses, we do export aggregation. So if we get the order for different products from the MSMEs, we can consolidate and supply together with our products. So that helps the SMEs. As a government-linked company, it is our objective to support the local SMEs so that the industry, food industry in Brunei can grow. So we also guide the SMEs. We provide some sort of guidance, training, and so forth to the MSMEs so that they can grow their business. So our halal process is very strict in a way. So probably Brunei is one of the countries that sends the halal inspector, especially during the slaughtering process. So our local government departments inspectors has to go during the slaughtering process in international slaughterhouses, especially for the import of meat. Brunei, while we do the initial auditing and also certification, but during the slaughtering process, 2 inspectors from the government department will have to witness for every slaughter. So this is one of the difference. But other than that, the process is the manufacturer send the forms, and the religious accreditation department does the desk audit, and then inspection of the factory for the audits, and then religious accreditation for the factory is done, and then packaging, designing, all the labeling has to be approved, and then certification can happen and product can go into the market. So these are all under the Department of Ministry of Religious Affairs. There's a department specifically designed to monitor, to do the audit, inspection, and so forth for the slaughtering processes. But for the other products, non-meat products, we have a requirement for Muslim, at least two Muslims supervisor has to be in the organization. Especially it is sometimes difficult if we import products from the non-Muslim countries. there may not be any Muslim at all. So that's why the government has introduced a process that at least 2 practicing Muslims has to be supervising full-time and during the processing of non-meat product in any facilities that we import any product. So for branding products under Brunei Halal Foods, we have to make sure that the supervisors are supervising, and these supervisors are tested and certified by the Brunei Religious Ministry. So the next slide is showing our services. So we provide different types of services to our local businesses, and for that matter to some international businesses as well. So trading of product, this is one of the opportunity that we have started, that we will be importing halal products from different countries. It does not have to be Brunei Halal Foods branded product. It can be other brands from other international businesses. So we would import the product from different countries and supply to the local market and to other channels to the international market through us. So this opportunity is giving us the facility to especially for the Brunei market, so we can supply genuine, authentic halal product from international countries and bring it to Brunei, also to other countries. For example, if we are importing products from Australia or from Malaysia, we can bring it to the products to Brunei, but also we can supply directly from the Malaysia or Australia or any other countries to the international markets through our network and our channel. So this is our trading opportunities. And also, as I mentioned before, sourcing and supply of raw material and packaging materials. So especially, this is important for the local businesses. So not only just the raw material, we also provide packaging. And as we have our local, internally, we have got the strong marketing team, design team, and also product development team. We can also provide services on the product development, on the packaging, and also our designing and any types of other services or guidance that is required by the local businesses. So our product development is also another area where our R&D team can work with the local businesses, and they can provide services, including designing and any support guidance required for the development of product, tweaking of product. They can use our facility or they can use their own. And interestingly, so we have options for the local businesses. They can use their own brand. If they want to use our brand, Brunei Halal Foods, or any other brands, they can use, or it can be co-branded under Brunei Halal Foods and the local SME brands. So we have kept the opportunity. So this is actually a unique facility that we have recently created. This is a new concept, and Alhamdulillah, it seems to be working well. We have got several SMEs already working, and they seem to be pretty satisfied. And this has actually created a wide interest among the local businesses, and we are getting so many communication from the local businesses and also, as I mentioned, from other countries, neighboring countries, especially Sabah, Sarawak, and also Singapore. Packaging and repackaging facilities also available. We are providing repacking facilities. Most of the Bruneian small businesses, they have got the product, they have concept, but they have got a smaller production facility, but they cannot increase the productivity because of the limitations of resources. So we have created the facility. So SMEs can just come if they have the product, but they don't have the packing facility or repacking facility. They can actually use we have provided the different types of machines. The machines can do powder product, sauce, and granules, or any other different types of products, including snacks. So they can come and repack or pack their product for marketing and retailing. And as I mentioned, we have also got contract and OEM manufacturing. So international businesses and local business can do the contract manufacturing at our facilities. And also we have got facilities for sales and distribution. We are open to other businesses, they can use our facilities. So in terms of the facilities, alhamdulillah, we have been able to export to different markets. We have, since 2017, we started exporting to China, we exported to Singapore, we exported to Dubai. Obviously, we have exported some charity food products to Palestine as well. We have exported to Bangladesh, and our export market interest is increasing. Brunei has always been traditionally and historically, Brunei always being an importing countries. We used to always import food products. It's still more than 80% of our products is imported. So in terms of the diversification, government is trying to, for the food security and increasing export, we are now exporting to different markets.
Dr. Rahman, reminder, you have only 5 minutes more.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm finishing. I'm nearly there. I've got one more slide. The last slide is basically showing that bringing the best of Brunei to the world. This is my last slide, and basically we are trying to create our brand, make our brand stronger, so that we can supply to local market and international market of very authentic halal food products. So I want to finish this here. If there is any question, then I can answer. Wabillahi tawfiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Rahman, for your talk. Now I will open the floor if you have any questions. No questions? Okay, maybe I will start. Okay, Dr. Rahman, I have one question for you. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure, please go ahead.
Okay. All right. So my question is, what is your future view with regards to the technology implementation in the halal market, especially in Brunei and in this region generally?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Brunei, actually, in Brunei, we have laboratories where we can do various all the tests of halal products, and we have got all the machineries, including PCR, everything, but we are not using those facilities that we have. The government is aggregating all this lab together, and also trying to improve the laboratory facility. That's one. The other one is supply chain. This is one of the important area that we see end-to-end supply of halal products is one of the important area. Government of Brunei is significantly trying to improve the supply chain opportunity, because at the moment there are not many organizations that is providing end-to-end halal supply. This is one area. Obviously, industry fourth IR to look at all the supply chain issues, traceabilities, and all this. So, as we mentioned, that we have started developing the food industry and diversification in Brunei only recently, but we are looking at all the industrial development and technological development into the halal product and halal processing, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll be able to continue to develop this.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? I saw another question
for Dr. Rahman.
Oh, yeah, no, someone was trying to send a message. What is Brunei's view in alternative protein in halal food industry and ensure food security? Actually, it's Brunei halal is a certification is under the Ministry of Religious Affairs. So I cannot particularly comment on this, on the halal protein. At the moment, there has not been any decision so far on the alternative halal protein, but I have got direct communication with the Ministry of Religious Affairs and senior officers. And I will take that with the senior level at the ministry, and we'll see. But at this stage, there is no decision yet in terms of the alternative protein, so far I know.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rahman, for your clear answers. All right, so is it still? Okay, all right. Okay, sorry. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Rahman again. Okay, I think if you have any other further questions, then you can just forward to Dr. Rahman directly, or just give to the secretariat. Okay, now it's time for our second keynote speakers, Prof. Abdul Rahman. Prof. Prof. Abdul Rahman. Okay. So this is Prof. Abdul Rahman from Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Okay, before we invite Prof. Abdul Rahman, I would like to read his biodata a bit. Okay, Prof. Abdul Rahman graduated from Faculty of Pharmacy, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta. He completed PhD degree in 2011. Okay, from Institute of Halal Product Research, University Putra, Malaysia. His research interest is mainly on development of analytical techniques for halal product authentication. Prof. Abdul Rahman is also head of Center of Excellence, Institute for Halal Industry and System, Universitas Gadjah Mada. Since 2005, okay, Prof. Abdul Rahman is a lecturer in development of pharmaceutical chemistry, Faculty of Pharmacy, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta. He has supervised some research projects on halal product authentication and published more than 350 articles in Web of Science and Scopus Index journals, with H index of 34. Yeah. Besides, okay, Prof. Abdul Rahman acted as guest editors and reviewers in several reputed journals. Currently, Prof is editor-in-chief Indonesian Journals of Pharmacy, which is Q3 Scopus Index Journal. He also received several awards, including Young Scientist Scopus Award on Sustainable Agriculture in 2014 and Anugerah Kekayaan Intelektual Luar Biasa, or AKIL, in the field of international publication from the Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education in Indonesia in 2014. Without further ado, I would like to invite Prof. Abdul Rahman to deliver his speech. Thank you. Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahil qail. يا أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بعد أما بعد. First of all, I'd like to thank to the organizing committee, especially the Dean of InHeart, and also my colleague, Prof. Irwandi, Dr. Beta, Dr. Shirwan, Dr. Aizat, and also Dr. Nurul Hidayah, Dr. Azura. So we have a union from the Halal Product Research Institute here. And thanks for inviting me to share our activity, especially on halal authentication analysis. As we know that halal can be viewed from three perspectives. The first one is from religion perspective. As I mentioned before, ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah that ya ayyuhan nasu kulu mimma fil ardi halalan thayyiba. So every Muslim must to consume only halal and tayyib product, including food and pharmaceutical product. And the second one, that halal can be viewed from the business perspective, and the third one is from the science and technology perspective. Therefore, some tools, some detection techniques are developed to how to detect non-halal component in food and also in pharmaceutical product. Therefore, the title of my presentation here is the current update and trend in halal product authentication. So in Indonesia, the halal certification is mandatory. So we have the Indonesian Act number 33 on 2014 on halal product assurance. Maybe next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is an Indonesian Act on halal product assurance, or we call as jaminan produk halal. In the fourth article, it is stated that all products enter and circulate and traded in territory of Indonesia must be certified halal. So product here is food, pharmaceutical, cosmetic, consumer goods must be halal certified. However, the time of halal certification is depend on the product. For food and beverage, the time for halal mandatory is October 2024. But for pharmaceutical, especially for drug, narcotic, for examples, this item must be halal certified on, I think, 2036. And the only organization performing the halal certification in Indonesia is Halal Product Assurance Organizing Agency, or we call as BPJPH, or Badan Penyelenggara Jaminan Produk Halal. Maybe in Malaysia, the halal certification is carried by Jakim, and in Indonesia, the halal certification is performed or is assigned to BPJPH. So the BPJPH is only body have the obligation to act as halal certification body in Indonesia. The next question is, who is responsible for halal auditing? The halal auditing in Indonesia is carried by LPH. LPH is Lembaga Pemeriksa Halal, or Product Halal Examination Agency. So the certification of halal products is given by BPJPH, but the auditor or auditing process is carried by LPH, or Lembaga Pemeriksa Halal. To be LPH in Indonesia, there are some requirements. One of the requirement is the availability of accredited laboratory according to ISO 17025, which is the requirement to be LPH. So LPH must collaborate or has an accredited laboratory. Why? Because if we, for example, if we have the product and then product will be subject to halal certification, if the product are suspect to contain non-halal component, for example, if you have the product bebola or in Indonesia is bakso meatball. So meatball, the main component meatball is meat. So maybe the meat maybe come from non-halal species, maybe from pork or red meat, for example. So if you have the product of bebola and then subject to a halal certification, so this product must be assessed in the competent laboratory to assure that the product free from the non-halal component. Therefore, the availability of analytical method and the availability of detection tools capable of rapid and reliable for detection and in some cases for the quantification of non-halal component is must. Therefore, LPH must have collaborated and or must have the accredited laboratory. So this is the halal certification process in Indonesia. So for example, business owner submit the document to BPJPH and then BPJPH assign to LPH. LPH, lembaga pemeriksa halal, which is an accredited laboratory is under the LPH. And then LPH perform an auditing. And in some cases, the LPH must perform the laboratory testing to detect or to analyze the presence of non-halal component. So what is the halal product? Because I am from the Halal Product Research Institute, and during my lecture in IPPH, we have one course on falsafah sains halal, and from my supervisor we have the definition of halal product. That halal product are food, for example, food or pharmaceutical that contain ingredient permitted under Sharia law and fulfill the following condition. In relation to the non-halal component, in relation to detection of non-halal component, that non-halal component typically found in the food or pharmaceutical product are pig derivative or derivative from non-halal species. For example, lard, pork, porcine gelatin, or maybe red meat, wild-boar meat, dog meat, and so on. So some method found in the scientific literature mostly tell to how an analytical method capable of detecting these non-halal components. And according to my supervisor, Allah Yarkam, Prof. Yaakob, he tell us that three main issues in halal product. The first one is raw material, and the second one is processing, and the third one is authentication. I think this slide is very popular among the IPPS student because the main issue on halal products is halal product authentication. So the halal authentication analysis is extended to confirm that the product, food, cosmetic, pharmaceutical, etc., are free from non-halal components. So as this is a picture taken from the UPM, as we know that pig derivative is the main, it is the popular component to be used in our dairy product. For example, maybe our lipstick, maybe contain lard, and then my capsule maybe contain gelatin, and so on. So this is very challenging to how to detect this non-halal component. So this is method for halal authentication. We classify in my paper, in our papers, like ISO. Maybe next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, next. Next. Okay. This is the method for halal authentication. Basically, the general formula used for halal authentication as analysis is very simple. Any method capable of detecting lipid, so the method can be used for detecting lipid from non-halal component. For example, if you have the method capable of the fat from beef fat, for example, so the method can be used for detecting lard or pig fat. So this is the general formula. Therefore, for analysis of lard, we can use the FTIR spectroscopy through the identification of specific peak which are related to lard, for example, and also we can use the GCMS, gas chromatography mass spectrometry, for identifying the specific fatty acid present and in lard, and also we can use fast gas chromatography, or we call as electronic nose. For POC method for detection of POC, the method of choice is real-time PCR and also immunochromatography. And for porcine gelatin, we can use RT-PCR, real-time PCR, and also LC-MS-MS. So from this method, next. This is basically, we have some review on how to detect non-halal component in food and also in pharmaceutical product. Next. Next, please. Okay, next. Okay. Next, please. Okay. So, based on our experience, that the analytical method classified into two categories. The first one is screening or exploratory. This is the rapid test. So different scanning calorimetry, electronic nose, FTIR spectroscopy is not the standard method. Why? Because this method didn't offer, or this exploratory method is not standard method, because the selectivity or the specificity of the method of this method for detection non-halal component is very low. As we know that for halal analysis is include in qualitative analysis. So how much the non-halal component is not important, because small or big quantity of non-halal component present in the product is not allowed. This is based on the hadith ma'aksaro kathiru fakolilu haromon. So the important analytical method used for halal authentication analysis is qualitative test, not quantitative test, because small quantity of non-halal component in any product is not allowed to be consumed by a Muslim. And then the second method is we call as confirmatory. So this is the standard method for analysis of non-halal component. Why? Because this method, this confirmatory method, it offers the specific method for detecting non-halal component. For example, real-time PCR. Real-time PCR offers the specific method for detecting DNA from non-halal species. Therefore, the real-time PCR is the gold method of choice, standard method for analysis of meat, for example, through the DNA of the non-halal species. And then also LC-MS-MS. LC-MS-MS is also the method of choice for analyzing of protein-based non-halal component. For example, if you want to differentiate between meat from non-halal species, from pig or from dog, and also meat from halal species, beef, chicken, for example, we can identify the peptide, the protein, and then we hydrolyze to keep the peptide, and then we identify the specific peptide for non-halal species. Therefore, LC-MS-MS is the method of choice for analysis of peptide. For seek the peptide marker which are specific for non-halal species. And the third one is GCMS, or gas chromatography mass spectrometry. This is, I think, in my opinion, that this is the method of choice for analysis of lard. So the method of choice for analysis of lard in a food or pharmaceutical product is GCMS. Why? Because using GCMS, we can find the specific marker, we can find the fatty acid, which are the specific present in the lard. So any method to be used. Okay, next slide. So any method used for halal must be specific, and then must accurate, precise, sensitive, and robust. Therefore, some method I mentioned before, for example, lard is GCMS, and then pork use DNA-based method, and also for analysis of gelatin, we use LC-MS-MS and PCR-based method. So these methods are standard method. Why? Because this method often the accurate and also the specific technique for detective or non-halal component. Okay, next slide. Next slide again. So in our laboratory, we have some method which are accredited by ISO 17025. As I mentioned before, that to be LPH, to be lembaga pemeriksa halal, so LPH must have the accredited laboratory according to ISO 17025, and we have developed some method which are accredited according to ISO 17025. We have some scope. This is we have the accredited method on how to detect pork in meatball. In this form we call as cemaran daging babi. So basically this is a pork contamination in the product, and also we have a method, accredited method on how to analyze the porcine gelatin in the capsule cells. Yeah, so both methods have been accredited by ISO 17025. By in Indonesia, we call as Komite Akreditasi Nasional. Maybe in Malaysia is we call as SIRIM. Yeah, SIRIM. SIRIM is similar to KAN in Indonesia, or Komite Akreditasi Nasional. Okay. Next slide. Okay, maybe next again. So okay, the first one I want to highlight in is method based on FTIR spectroscopy. During my PhD study, we just use one instrument, namely IR spectroscopy, as the rapid method for detecting non-halal component. FTIR spectroscopy for screening the presence of non-halal components, especially for screening lard, pork, and also porcine gelatin. Because FTIR spectroscopy is considered in fingerprinting analytical method in which there are no component with different composition to have the same FTIR spectra. So since FTIR spectra are fingerprinting to like our DNA, so FTIR spectroscopy is offer the specific method for detecting lard and other non-halal component in food or in other product. Next. Okay, this is the scheme how to the general scheme how to detect lard or pork, for example, using FTIR spectroscopy. For example, we have a meatball product, and then we perform the lipid extraction, maybe using chocolate or maybe black and dryer, and then after we got the lipid component, and then the lipid component are subject to FTIR spectra treatment, and then we use some multivariate data analysis called with chemometric to classify between halal meatball and non-halal meatball, and then using multivariate data analysis, we also can quantify the level of non-halal component present in the non-halal food or non-halal pharmaceutical product. So next. So this is, I think, we thought the use of multivariate data analysis is very difficult to differentiate between lard and other animal fat and also vegetable oil, because all FTIR spectra are very similar. Therefore, the use of chemometric is a must for how to differentiate lard and other edible fat and oil. Next. However, using we call as chemometric, using, for example, principal component analysis, we we can identify, for example, lard is assigned with number 1 in the above, yeah, left above. This is the score plot. Lard is assigned with number 1. So if we have unknown samples, if we have unknown sample, if you have this is fat or oil, what is the identifier of this fat or oil? And then we can analyze using FTIR spectroscopy, and then the spectra obtained is subject to this chemometric technique. And if the spectra is fall near to number 1, so we can deduce that the unknown sample is lard. So this is the benefit of the use of multivariate data analysis to assist us to interpret the data. So this is the next slide. Next again. So this is the advantage of FTIR spectroscopy. Is simple in some cases without any sample preparation. For example, you have a cream cosmetic, maybe you have the capsule cells, and these samples can be directly analyzed without a sample preparation, without any solvation, without any cleaning, and so on. But the sample can be directly analyzed using we call as ATR, attenuated total reflectance, without any sample preparation. So FTIR spectroscopy can be considered a green analytical method because without any sample preparation. And also FTIR spectroscopy is very specific. Since I mentioned before that FTIR spectra is fingerprint in nature. For example, if you want to differentiate between my hair and Prof. Irvandi hair using FTIR spectroscopy, so the profile of FTIR spectra are different. And then disadvantage that the developed method can only be used for formulation of sample consistent with the state tested. The case like that. If you have the method on detecting pork in the mixture with beef, so the method is not applicable to detect pork which are mixed to chicken, for example. So if you have the standard method, you have the validated method on how to detect pork in the mixture with beef, this is not applicable to detect pork in the mixture of chicken with chicken. So if you want to develop analytical method for detecting pork in the mixture with chicken, so you must develop from the beginning. So this is the disadvantage of the FTIR spectroscopy. Therefore, next. So we have some publication in how to detect non-halal meat. For example, in pork, and then in red meat, and so on. So if the type of meat are different, or even maybe the type of non-halal meat is same, but the the meat used as the mixture is different, so the analytic method must be developed from the beginning. So FTR spectroscopy is also successful to be used for differentiate porcine and bovine gelatin in the candy, for example, and also in capsule cells. This is next slide, please. Again, next slide. Okay, this is the profile of we call as principal component analysis to differentiate between a candy made from the porcine, yeah, and then fish gelatin and also bovine gelatin. So it is very clearly separated among these three gelatin. So again, this is the involvement of chemometric technique to assist the interpretation of data from the FTIR spectra. Maybe next again, the second method is LCMS and also GCMS. As I mentioned before, that LCMS, liquid chromatography mass spectrometry, is the method of choice for analysis of protein, for analysis of peptide, for analysis of gelatin, while the GCMS method of choice for analysis of lard. Why? Because for GCMS, we can find the fatty acid, which is marker in the lard, and also using LCMS, we can find the peptide marker in the porcine gelatin. Next. And also we can also use the approach, what we call as metabolomics. Metabolomic is the study deal with analyzing all metabolite in the non-halal components. So LC-MS-MS, GC-MS, also FTIR spectroscopy can be used for detecting non-halal component using the metabolomic approach. Okay, next. This is the general approach for detecting non-halal component using metabolomic approach. For example, you have the non-halal meat, yeah, pork, dog, or halal meat, for example, beef. Then we can isolate the protein, for example, and then protein is digested using the specific protease, and then the amino acid or peptide obtained is then analyzed using LC-MS-MS, for example, combined with several pattern recognition chemometric. For example, we can use PCA, principal component analysis, PLSDA or PLSDA to classify or to differentiate between non-halal and halal meat in our product. Okay, next. And also this next, okay. And also for GCMS, we can find the specific marker in the non-halal item. For example, our colleague during study in Halal Product Institute tried to find the fatty acid in the lard using two-dimensional GC. Maybe next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. Okay. This is our colleague find some fatty acid which are marker in lard using two-dimensional GC to GC in combination with time of flight mass spectrometry. Next slide. Next again. Okay. Finally, our colleague have found there are three fatty acids which are specific in lard, namely trans-octa-decatrienoic acid, and then eicosat trienoic acid, and also eicosadienoic acid. These three fatty acids are specific in lard. Therefore, these three fatty acids are called as the marker for identification or for detection of lard in the product. So, if you have sample with unknown composition, and then you try to analyze if there is a lot or no. You can subject your sample to GC top MS if you want to identify. So you can run GC top MS if you find these 3 fatty acids. So the product are suspect to contain lard. So these 3 fatty acids are called as marker for lard. So I think this is very sophisticated instrument and very costly, I think. But this instrument is very specific or very sensitive for detection of lard in any products. Maybe and then LC, I moved through LCMS and LCMSFS. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Please, next. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is, I think, the method of choice for analysis of gelatin using LCMS and also LCMSMS. Why? Because LCMSMS is very specific to identify the peptide marker. Using maybe multiple reaction monitoring, MRM, we can find the specific marker for peptide. Next. This is the general procedure for analysis of gelatin, maybe porcine or bovine or fish gelatin using LCMSMS. So gelatin as subject to hydrolysis using trypsin, for example. Using trypsin, we will find the amino acid residue of lysine and arginine, and then we get the peptide, and then the peptide is analyzed using a specific software, and then we can find the specific marker from a specific marker which are specific to bovine or specific to porcine. Next slide, please. So this is the chromatogram, I think, of mass spectra of bovine gelatin digest by trypsin. This is very complicated, yeah. So we thought the use of chemometric is very difficult to differentiate between porcine and also bovine gelatin. Next. Yeah. So this is we call as the peptide marker, or marker peptide for bovine and also porcine gelatin. In the left is for bovine and the right is for porcine. So if you have the product, for example, capsule cells, and then you analyze using LCMSMS, and then you find this peptide in the left, so the capsule cell is considered made from the bovine, and if the product capsule cells is found to contain a peptide marker in the right, so the capsule cell contain porcine gelatin. So I think because the time is out, so as a conclusion that the availability of analytical method capable of detecting of non-halal component is must, because the development of science and technology, maybe non-halal component is add to the products, so the detection is a must. And based on our experience, that the method can be classified as a confirmatory, which is the standard method, and also for screening method. So for confirmation method, for non-halal component, maybe for lard is GCMSMS or GCMS by identifying the fatty acid marker, and then for pork we can use real-time PCR, and for gelatin we can use LCMSMS or real-time PCR. I think this is the end of my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Prof. Abdul Rahman. Okay, now I will open the Q&A sessions to the floor. If you have any, maybe one or two. Any questions from the floor? Yes, can someone give the microphone?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rahman from Universitas Indonesia. Thank you very much for your presentation. I think it's very hard to detect the authentication of the halal food or something haram. How about the sample preparation of the samples? I think it's also another more difficult. What kind of your idea? What kind of the measurements? How to make the concentration more higher, and we can detect the concentration. Maybe you have any idea about this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sahlan, for the good question. I think the sample preparation depends on the method used. For example, if you want to use the FTR spectroscopy, so there is no need to perform the sample preparation, since the sample can be directly analyzed. But if you want to use, for example, LC-MS, which is the method for choice for analysis of gelatin, the sample preparation is very crucial. Why? Because the peptide often may be not stable, and also maybe the hydrolysis of gelatin using trypsin is maybe not successful. So the sample preparation is very crucial. Therefore, you must optimize the sample preparation step to obtain the maximum maximum product. For example, if you want to hydrolyze gelatin using trypsin, you must optimize to get the as much as the peptide, and also another very crucial sample preparation is using real-time PCR, because you must assure that the DNA has been extracted. For example, if you use a real-time PCR and then the result is negative, because I know you from the engineering. So if the results are negative, so there are two possibilities. Maybe we failed to DNA extraction, or maybe the DNA analysis is absent. So this is this indicate that the sample preparation is very important, and also the sample preparation needed is depend on the analytical method used during your halal authentication analysis. Thank you, Dr. Shala.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Abdul Rahman, for the explanation. I think because of time constraint, we end our Q&A session here. Okay, thank you, Prof, for your talk and your answers. Thank you, Assalam. Okay, so we will have a break. Okay, 10:20 to 10:40. Okay, then sorry. Oh, sorry, 10:30. Okay, we have a break until 10:30 because we will proceed with the opening ceremony after this. Okay, so you can have some drinks or there's some breakfast here if you not yet taking your breakfast. So we'll see you again 10:30. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We kindly request that you switch your phone to the silent mode to avoid any interruptions during the ceremony. We also request that you remain in the hall until the ceremony is adjourned, and everyone is invited to have a seat, inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Announcing the arrival of Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Sirajuddin Suhaimi, Deputy Director General for Policy, JAKIM, accompanied by all media luminaries. Let us sing together the national anthem, Negaraku, followed by the IIUM anthem, Leading the Way.
Lighten the future, share the wisdom to the spirit of Islam. Revelation and reason shall excel, shall prevail. Merging faith and knowledge, we, the Khalifa, we will fulfill the amana. Together we make the world a better place. Forever expand the culture of Iqra. IUM is to realize the meaning of Ramadan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Yang berbahagia Datuk Dr. Sirajuddin Suhaimi, Deputy Director General for Policy, JAKIM, representing Yang Berhormat Senator Datuk Setia Dr. Haji Muhammad Naim bin Haji Mukhtar, Minister for Religious Affairs in Prime Minister's Department. Honorable Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rector of the International Islamic University, Malaysia, respected IIUM University Management Committee members, Yang Berusaha Professor Technologist Dr. Azura Ahmed, Dean of the International Institute for Halal Research and Training, distinguished guests, collaborators and sponsors, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam Malaysia Madani and a very good morning. Selamat datang, ahlan wa sahlan, and welcome to the opening ceremony of the International Halal Science Conference 2023. We are indeed honored to have the presence of Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Sirajuddin Suhaimi, Deputy Director General for Policy JAKIM, for the opening ceremony of this conference. Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Datuk, for gracing us with your presence today. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the International Halal Science Conference 2023 is a collaborative effort by the International Institute for Halal Research and Training in HART, IIUM, and Halalan Tayyiban Research Center, University Islam Sultan Sharif, UNISA, Brunei Darussalam, with the theme Halal Industry Sustainability Through Science. This conference is the first conference jointly organized by the IIUM and UNISA with the goal to advocate conscious decision-making and facilitate Muslims in navigating the evolving scientific landscape while adhering to halal practices. The conference aimed to provide a platform for researchers and relevant agencies from diverse backgrounds, perspectives, and interests to meet, exchange ideas, and strengthen their collaboration in halal research. Last but not least, the conference also hoped to serve as a catalyst for all professionals and business owners in the halal industry, particularly within the nations, to persistently endeavor and demonstrate resilience in enhancing the standards of halal and tayyiban products and services. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now I have the pleasure to call upon Brother Ahmadul Haq Adnan from the International Institute for Halal Research and Training in HART to recite Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 10 to 13.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهم ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Jazakumullahu khairan, brother. I would like to invite Professor Technologies Dr. Azura Amir, Chairperson of the International Halal Science Conference 2023, to deliver her welcoming remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Yang berbahagia, Datuk Dr. Sirajuddin bin Suhaimi, Deputy Director General Policy JAKIM, representing Honorable Senator Datuk Setia Haji Dr. Muhammad Naim bin Haji Mokhtar, Minister in Prime Minister's Department, Religious Affairs. Honorable Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli bin Abdul Razak, Rector of the International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM. Respected IIM University Management Committee members, distinguished guests, collaborators and sponsors, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Good morning and a warm welcome to International Halal Science Conference 2023, IHAS 2023. I stand here today filled with immense pride and gratitude as we gather here in the spirit of knowledge, collaboration, and progress. On behalf of the International Institute for Halal Research and Training, INHAD, International Islamic University Malaysia, and Halalan Taiban Research Center, University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, UNISA, Brunei, I extend my heartfelt greeting to each of you who have participated from different parts of the world to be part of these prestigious events. IHAS 2023 is not merely a conference. It is a celebration of the relentless pursuit of knowledge and innovation in the realm of halal science. The theme of this conference, Halal Industry Sustainability Through Science, emphasizes our commitment to exploring cutting-edge research and technology, fostering halal industry practices, and promoting the well-being of the global community. Ladies and gentlemen, collaborators and friends, this year's conference holds special significance as it is a hybrid event that brings together both online and face-to-face participants and presenters. Embracing technologies, IHAS 2023 enables us to connect with a broader audience, transcending geographical boundaries and allowing for greater inclusivity in our discussion. I am delighted to see our community of scholars and practitioners come together through these innovative formats, fostering meaningful dialogues and collaborations. Furthermore, IHAS 2023 is a continuation of VHAS 2021, which took place entirely in a virtual setting. The success of VHAS 2021 laid the foundation for this year's conference, inspiring us to build upon those achievements and deepen our exploration of halal science. The experience and insights against The experience and insight gained from the virtual event have been invaluable. And now, as we combine the best of both virtual and in-person interaction, we elevate the conference to new heights. We are honored to have a remarkable cohort of presenters of HIHAS 2023. Over 54 presenters from Malaysia, Brunei, Vietnam, Thailand, Switzerland, and Indonesia will share their expertise and research findings during the conference. Their contribution spans across various fields, including technology and sustainable halal industry, halalan Choiban for sustainable lifestyle, Islamic perspective in halal science, halal forensic technology, and halal management science. Each presenter brings a unique perspective, enriching our collective understanding and driving the halal industry closer to being a more ethically and sustainably grounded industry. Ladies and gentlemen, collaborators and friends, before I conclude, I wish to express my gratitude to all the conference organizers, speakers, sponsors, and volunteers who have worked tirelessly to make this hybrid event possible. Your dedication and commitment to halal science have been truly inspiring. To all our international guests, we hope that your time in Malaysia will be memorable, as you experience warm hospitality and cultural richness of our nations. Ladies and gentlemen, collaborators and friends, once again, I extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you, and I eagerly anticipate the exciting and enlightening session to await us at HIHAS 2023. May this conference be a catalyst for positive change, nurturing sustainable practice in the halal industry for the betterment of humanity. Thank you and enjoy your conference. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. Now I have the pleasure to call upon Honorable Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rector of IIUM, to deliver his speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalam syafil anbiya mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. La hawla wa la quwata illa billah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh to everybody, khususnya yang berbahagia Datuk Sirajuddin, Timbalan Ketua Pengarah JAKIM, colleagues from IIUM, and also fellow speakers and participants from different countries and different universities, brothers and sisters. Let me first of all start by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving this opportunity. Although we will miss the minister, who is an alumni of this university, but I'm sure he will be well represented by Datuk Sirajuddin. This is an important event for me because I think when I look at the title of Halal Industry Sustainability Through Science, I am a little bit excited because the word sustainability, for the first time, I think, is officially put in any of the discussion of INHAD as far as halal is concerned. To me, the word sustainability brings a new dimension to halal. Halal certainly is something that we have known for a long time. I think Malaysia has been also commended for starting this particular industry that now has gone through all over the world, and many competitors now are trying to build this halal industry in their own context, in their own realm. But I think with the word sustainability coming in, to me, the issue of halal has been taken into another level of understanding, because the word sustainability itself has got a concept of its own, which is also very comprehensive and very overwhelming. In other words, if I were to put the issue right in front of us, you will not be considered halal as far as sustainability is concerned until you address also the 17 goals of sustainable development. In other words, if you are a halal industry, how do you solve the problem of poverty? If you're in a halal industry, how do you solve the problem of hunger? If you're a halal industry, how do you solve the problem of cleanliness and health? If a halal industry, how do you solve the problem of education? These are all related to sustainability, the 17 goals. In fact, it will also ask, how do halal industry contribute to the reduction of global warming and climate change? How do halal industry monitor sustainable consumption and sustainable production? If halal industry is not doing this, then halal industry in this particular context is not sustainable. And therefore, this is a new challenge for you to wake up to. When you talk about halal industry, it's not just about meeting the requirements of the Islamic tenets, but also looking at a larger picture of what sustainability is all about. And until and unless we can connect, then your halal industry will be considered, quote unquote, as unsustainable. And indeed, we have seen in many cases, even in Malaysia, there's halal industry, people serving halal food, but the premise is very dirty. The premise is not up to standard as far as cleanliness is concerned. We have halal industry, but the people who work in the halal industry are all being exploited because of salaries, because of many other issues that is prepared against human rights and so on and so forth. We have in halal industry the way we look after the animals, the cattle, the fowls that we export or we transport from place to place. They are not well maintained in the context of how you respect animal rights, as it were. So these are new issues that I hope you will bring to fore in your discussion, rather than just the limited scope of what halal industry used to be in the context of what you know before. And therefore, the challenge for this is for us to come up with different mechanisms, different issues, and different understanding, particularly as far as the industry is concerned. Do they understand sustainability in the context that they've got? I raise this question because the industry seems to have their own idea of what sustainability is all about when they talk about ESG, environment, social, and G is governance. They are not talking about ESD, which is education for sustainable development. In other words, the educational part, as far as ESG is concerned, is missing. And therefore, they understand sustainability in the context of how do they make profit out of the halal industry. Is back to profiteering. And in fact, some people call this what as a greenwashing. You know, you give it a label that is, it sounds like Islamic and halal, but underneath it is not at all Islamic and halal. And in fact, in my case, I call ESG is environment, social, and G is greed. It's about making money out of the halal industry and not attending to the understanding of halal in the context that we want to know. And therefore, when you work with the industry, we must be one step above them. We must be the one that is educating them of what industry is all about and what sustainability is all about. And what is the obligation of us as a university to educate these people so that they do understand what we mean about halal and sustainability in the context of Islam and the Islamic perspective. This is something which I think is very challenging for us because the halal industry has grown over and beyond that we expect, and to bring them back, to make them understand what sustainability is not going to be easy. But I'm sure if we can work with the JAKIM, with other institutions that are also willing to work with us, then I think we can put this perspective back into its original meaning and save the halal industry from being labeled as not sustainable. Just like when we talk about palm oil. We talk about palm oil, the Western world is telling us your palm oil is not sustainable and therefore we are not going to import any products of palm oil from Malaysia. The time will come when they will say the same thing, that your halal industry is not sustainable and therefore we will not subscribe to whatever certificate they issue because that certificate does not answer the needs for sustainability. This will be the future problem if you don't handle it now, if you're quite happy with what you are doing and not trying to predict what the future will bring for us. I think this industry will face a very difficult situation ahead. And therefore, today's meeting is a very important meeting because we've got brains and minds from different parts of the world. I see very eminent speakers who will talk to you about what halal industry and within the context of sustainability. And I think we can now come into a consensus of where do you want to bring this halal industry in the context of sustainability. I want to particularly thank you and also our colleagues from the Halal Tayyiban Research Center of University Islam Sultan Sharif from Brunei, who will be, inshallah, signing an MOU with us. And I hope this MOU will help us to collaborate closer together in redefining what halal industry is all about in the context of sustainability. The context of sustainability will end in the year 2030. In the year 2030, the world will stop and evaluate what sort of sustainability program we will have by that particular time. We've got about 7 years more. And if halal industries are not realigned into this goal of 2030, then by the time they do this evaluation, we will be left out. In fact, perhaps halal industry will not be considered as relevant as far as sustainability is concerned. So the pressure is on us, and I hope this meeting today will reawaken us and make us understand what the challenges are in the future and work together as closely as possible in trying to meet those deadlines, and also, more importantly, to show that halal is relevant, halal is important, and halal is not just about profiteering, but also about saving and making people's life better than what it used to be. So on that note, I would like to thank the organizers for having this foresight, having this meeting, and also all of you for coming. And hopefully we can sit down and come to an understanding of where we want to move ahead, certainly under the guidance of Jakim and the minister at hand. I think we should be able to run programs, training program, awareness programs, and also making changes into the future. On that note, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we're given the courage and also the wisdom to make the necessary changes moving ahead. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tan Sri. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor I respectfully invite Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Sirajuddin Suhaimi, Deputy Director General for Policy, Jakim, to deliver his officiating address.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin wa bihi nasta'in wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Alhamdulillah. The Honorable Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rector of the International Islamic University Malaysia, IUM, respected IUM University Management Committee, Yang Berusaha Professor Technologies Dr. Azura, Dean of the International Institute of Halal Research and Training in Ahad, distinguished guests, collaborators, sponsors, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillah, it's a great honor to be here today together with all of you. And on behalf of the Honorable Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Yang Berhormat Senator Datuk Setia Dr. Haji Umar Naim Haji Mukhtar, I would like to convey his salam to all of you with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of the Minister, let me read his speech today. And he mentioned that he would like to begin with the speech with a verse from the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 35. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu taqullaha wabtaghu ilaihil wasilah وَجَاهِدُوا فِي سَبِيلِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, in which is stated, O you who believe, fear Allah and seek the means of nearness of Him and strive in His cause that you may succeed. Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah, the merciful, the all beneficent, by whose grace and blessing have enabled us to gather here for the International Halal Science Conference 2023. I feel privileged to be invited to officiate the conference, which I trust is an excellent gathering of minds dedicated to pursuit of knowledge and innovation in the realm of halal industry sustainability through science. I would like to congratulate the organizer, the International Institute for Halal Research and Training, which is in INHAD, the International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM, the Halal and Tayyiban Research Center, and the University Islam Sultan Sharif, UNISA from Brunei, and their tireless effort in bringing this conference to fruition. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia government to the halal industry is not just about economic growth. It is rooted in our values and principles, and the Prime Minister's Department, through the dedicated effort of Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, JAKIM, has remained steadfast in our commitment to upholding the integrity and authenticity of halal ecosystem. Beginning in 1974, the halal certification in the country has evolved tremendously. JAKIM indeed plays a significant role in the endeavor. Nevertheless, in the current modern halal ecosystem, the role of expanding beyond regulatory function as JAKIM foster close collaboration with a spectrum of stakeholders, including government agencies, industry stakeholders, international organizations, and esteemed higher education institution. Known as the global leader in halal industry, Malaysia sets gold standard of practice in various aspects of halal towards upholding the halal integrity and values. Sharing our expertise and cooperating with neighboring countries is non-arguably an integral part of this commitment. By fostering partnership and knowledge exchange, we aim to collectively expand the halal market reach, ensuring that the benefit of the robust halal ecosystem extend beyond our borders. Ladies and gentlemen, let's also recognize the pivotal role of institutions like Halal Institute, including INHAD, in supporting a robust halal ecosystem. These efforts are rooted in the profound importance of halal science, a field that not only encompasses scientific principle, but also embraces the cultural, religious, and ethical values of our society. The contribution of INHAD is demonstrated by its comprehensive research initiative that strive to uncover the complexities of halal science and facilitate the progression of innovative technologies, processes, and products. The conference theme today, Halal Industry Sustainability Through Science, resonates deeply with the goals of Malaysia government as we recognize the critical role science and innovation play in fostering a resilient and thriving halal industry. Infusing Malaysia Madani values into the great effort, a sustainable halal industry is not impossible to realize. Malaysia Madani, the framework introduced by the Right Honorable the Prime Minister, Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, which lays out his vision of a civilized, skilled, and inclusive society, propose a set of 6 core values. The values are kemampanan, which is sustainability, kesejahteraan, prosperity, daya cipta, innovation, hormat, which is respect, keyakinan, trust, and ihsan, which is compassion. One of the Madani values that we hope to be materialized in our International Halal Science Conference 2023 today is a daya cipta, or innovation aspect. We are inspiring for new and creative ideas with regard to halal and science to emerge from this conference. Halal industry should not be limited to the traditional concept of halal alone, but must also be creative and innovative in its deliverable. In line with the progress of science and technology, for Islam does not oppose to science so long as the halal practice is remain intact. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, once again, I would like to congratulate all the entities for organizing this conference. This collaborative effort is very commendable. Shabas and tahniah to all participants that you for committing your time and energy for this conference. I wish all of you the best and the fruitful discussion towards charting a path forward for a sustainable halal industry, one that meets the needs of today without compromising the needs of future generation. With lafaz, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, on behalf of the Honorable Minister, Dr. Muhammad Naim bin Haji Mukhtar, I hereby declare the International Halal Science Conference 2023 officially open. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Dato'. Dato', please remain standing for our next agenda, the gimmick and the video presentation. I invite Honorable Tan Sri, accompanied by Prof. Azura, to join YB Dato' for the gimmick ceremony. Alhamdulillah, thank you all VIPs. Our esteemed VIPs, please remain standing. Now, we will witness a momentous occasion, the MOA signing between MISDAC and IIUM, as well as UNISA and IIUM. Also, the MOU signing between His Thayyibah Sendirian Berhad and IIUM, as they come together to formalize their commitment to collaboration, innovation, and progress. Without further ado, I call upon Yang Mulia Raja Nur Izzah Raja Jaafar, CEO Halal International Selangor, His Thayyibah Sendirian Berhad, and Mr. Ahmad Sazali Sabri, Chairman, Malacca Industrial Skills Development and Entrepreneurship Center, MISDAC, to the stage. With lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, all VIPs are invited to sign the MOA and MOU documents. All right, Alhamdulillah, the MOA and MOU has been signed, symbolizing a new era of cooperation and progress. We will now have a photography session to mark this momentous occasion. All VIPs are invited to the center of the stage. Alhamdulillah. Thank you all VIPs. Yang Mulia Raja Nur Izzah Raja Jaafar and Mr. Ahmad Sazali Sabri, you may be seated. Yang berbahagia Datuk, Tan Sri Rector and Prof Azura, please kindly remain on stage and move to the center of the stage, inshallah. Front. Yeah. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now move on to the presentation of CHEC's KPT certificates. The International Institute for Halal Research and Training in HART has been assigned by the Office of the Deputy Rector, Academic and Internationalization IIUM, to conduct the Certified Halal Executive Training checks under the KPT Professional Certification KPT PACE Program Phase 3, which was held from 26th of May to 25th of June 2023. There are 5 batches altogether, 3 batches from Gombak, 1 from Kuantan and 1 from Pago. And Alhamdulillah, all these students have completed the training successfully. Therefore, without further ado, it is with great pleasure that I invite our first recipient, Brother Muhammad Azfar Azhari, representing the first batch, to receive the certificate. Next, I invite Brother Khairul Anwar Ibrahim, representing the second batch, to receive the certificate. Next, I invite Brother Firdaus Ahmad, representing the third batch, to receive the certificate. I invite Brother Zaharul Imran Ali, representing the 4th batch, to receive the certificate. Last but not least, I invite Brother Muhammad Fathul Munir Muhammad Hairuddin, representing the 5th batch, to receive the certificate. Congratulations all participants. Once again, I kindly request all esteemed delegates to remain standing. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is the moment of heartfelt gratitude and honor, the token of appreciation ceremony. With great honor, I invite Honorable Tan Sri Rector to present the souvenirs as a token to express our deepest appreciation to Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Sirajuddin Suhaimi, whose presence has graced us and elevated our gathering to new heights. Thank you, Tan Sri. Once more, all VIPs, please remain standing. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have a photography session for checks KPT recipients with all VIPs. Therefore, it is my pleasure to invite Yang Mulia Raja Nur Izzah Raja Jaafar and Mr. Ahmad Sazali Sabri, as well as all checks KPT instructors to the stage. All checks KPT instructors, please go to the stage. All instructors. All instructors from batch 1 to 5. Right. Now to start, I invite students from batch 1 to the stage. Students batch 1 to the stage, please. Alhamdulillah, thank you students from batch 1. Now I invite students from batch 2 to the stage. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, students from batch 2. Now I invite students from batch 3 to the stage. Okay, ready? 1, 2, cheese. All right, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, students from batch 3. Finally, I invite students from batch 4 and 5 together to the stage. So these students are from Kuantan and Pagoh. All right, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Thank you all VIPs and participants. Once again, all VIPs, please remain on stage. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude this remarkable event, we extend our heartfelt thanks to our sponsors whose generous support has made this event possible. Our deepest gratitude to Halal International Selangor, His Toyiba Sendirian Berhad, Duo Pharma Biotech Berhad, Komplevi Sendirian Berhad, Hako Asia Pacific Sendirian Berhad, and Fraser and Neve Limited FNN. We have come to the end of our event today. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Yang Berbahagia, Dato' Dr. Sirajuddin Suhaimi, all distinguished guests, and everyone for your presence today. With that, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All VIPs are invited to visit the booth and lunch is served.